For me, I would rather a meth head stab me to death than a single bed bug touch my body. Focus on me. Does this look good? I can't tell. It's too far away. Hello. Welcome to the loneliest podcast you've ever seen in your life, the Bubble Boy Podcast. Here in welcoming, homey Tulsa, Oklahoma. Nicest place on earth. I don't know if that's true, but everyone here is very nice. I'm doing a solo episode here in my hotel room because I did one last episode with Mr. Kenny. That was fun, except he may have turned his microphone off for 15 to 20 minutes of the podcast. So even when I'm doing a good job producing the podcasts, there's always going to be an issue, and I don't know how to solve that. Maybe headphones, so I can hear if, it's being recorded or not. Maybe that's something to think about. But that seems like a lot of work, But did an episode with Kenny, who I met here at the festival. He was fun. He was funny. Did a show together. And then a couple other gentlemen I reached out to, like, hey, I'm at the festival, would love to have you on the podcast. And they got back to me, and we messaged back and forth. And then both of the other guys ghosted me today. And I saw both of them, and they kind of just avoided eye contact, so I don't know what was going on. But, so I was coming here. Thought I was going to get 3, maybe 4 episodes out of this trip, so I wouldn't have to worry about the podcast for a month. And here we are doing a solo ep, number 2. So I was expecting to get 3 or 4 episodes with guests, and I got 1 with a guest, and now I'm doing one alone by myself in this hotel room. So that just tells you where things are at. But here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for the Blue Whale Comedy Festival, and I got a lot to talk about. Me and Kenny were just kind of riffing and chit-chatting. But there's so much more I want to talk about. And I don't have a person to talk to. So you're here now, and you're going to take care of me and help me not feel so lonely. Also, I'm a little anxious because Kenny, don't know him, very nice, fun guy. I've known him for a day and a half. He is sharing this hotel room with me. He just kind of came up to me after a show, was like, do you have a extra bed? I will give you some money if you let me stay in your extra bed. I was just going to sleep in my car. He said he's planning on staying out, doing after parties, going to shows, all that kind of stuff. But I am anxious he's going to come back at any moment, and I'm going to be mid-solo, sad podcast, and it'll be judgmental. And there's no way to, break this down quickly. Like, if I hear the door open, I can't run over, throw this off the bed, run over, pause the podcast, all before he sees. So I'm a little anxious that he's going to catch me, and it's going to be very embarrassing. It is, what time is it? It's like 9 p.m., and I have to wake up at 3:30 a.m. to catch a flight home. So I should be going to bed, but I want to get an episode in because I feel like I have things to talk about. So a couple things. One, here at Blue Whale, it's a very good festival. It's a very well produced, very well put together festival. Good logo. I got a hat. Good headliners. Solid round of headliners. This is the most prestigious festival I've been accepted to, which feels very cool, and I appreciate it a lot. It's kind of lonely doing a festival alone in a different state where you don't know nobody. No one else is on this festival from Colorado. And having to make new friends, start conversations, yuck. It's my least favorite thing in the world. I don't mind having conversations. I deeply struggle with starting conversations. It's very hard for me. So this has been a weekend of me trying to start conversations and get outside my comfort zone a little bit, and I'm exhausted, emotionally and mentally, from meeting people. A little overstimulated, and then also just tired because I've been walking around a lot, and mentally tired because I've been accidentally spending too much money over and over and over again. And every time I go, geez, I'm really spending a lot of money on this, I gotta slow it down, something else happens and I spend more money, and I'm pissed. I'm furious about it. So a couple things. I have so many things in my mind. So got this festival, very excited. Very excited to be accepted into the Blue Whale Comedy Festival. Saw that I'm doing one set, which is tough. Like I've gotta get a plane ticket and all this kind of stuff, and hotels and Ubers and all that for one set. But hey, that's okay. But then it's one 10-minute set. But then I'm opening for Jeffrey Asmus, who I'm a fan of. So I'm like, that's cool. It's worth doing it. I think that's worth it. Then get to the festival. Turns out it's not a 10-minute set. It's a 7-minute set. So I'm like, okay, I've spent a couple $100 to come do one unpaid 7-minute set. So that's just a little tough pill to swallow right there. So I get accepted. I get an email. So I book a hotel room. And I was like, what's finding the return on investment, the ROI on like how close to downtown or to the venue do I want to be, so that I don't have to pay for Ubers, so I can just walk places. At the same time, however, how expensive that's going to be to get a hotel room downtown versus if I got a hotel room 10 minutes, 15 minutes outside of downtown. And yeah, then I got to Uber in and out. But it's going to be cheaper even with Ubers, if I get a hotel room out there than if I got a hotel room, for $400 a night in downtown. So downtown hotels are like anywhere from like $100 to $200 a night. That seems kind of pricey. I don't do a lot of solo hotel booking, so I'm like, I don't. That seems kind of pricey. I feel like when I was driving around as a kid, with my mom taking me to elementary school to middle school, my brother and I, to get to school, we would have to drive by a big sign for like a Motel 8 or a Good Inn or whatever it's called, and it would be like $40 a night, $30 a night. So in my head, that's what hotels cost, because that's what I saw 15 years ago on a sign driving to elementary or middle school. So, yeah, I saw a hotel. It's like 15 minutes out of downtown for $40 a night. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. So I book it. It's like 3.5 stars. That's fine. I don't need a continental breakfast. I don't need there to be a pool. I don't need there to be a gym. I just need it to be a bed that I can live in. Doesn't need to have a nice TV. I just need a bed to sleep in. $40 a night. Fine. And I booked it, and then a couple days later, then I said to my wife, yeah, I got a hotel room, not too shabby. It's like $150 for the flight. By the way, $150 for the flight, not bad out of Colorado Springs. Normally, you have to drive up to Denver. You got to drive an hour and a half to the DIA to save money. The Springs airport is usually like $100, $150, $200 more expensive to fly out of the Springs. It was actually comparable to Denver, except I had to take a connecting flight out of Dallas, which I didn't understand. From Colorado Springs down to Dallas, up to Tulsa. There's nothing direct to Tulsa. That's fine, whatever. So more flights, but just as just as expensive as DIA, and I don't have to drive to Denver. That's worth it to me. So I was like, yeah, it's like $150 for the hotel or $150 for the flight, and $150 for the hotel, something like that. My wife goes, how many nights are you there? I'm like, it's 3. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, leave Sunday morning. She's like, that's pretty cheap. What was that, like $50 a night? I'm like, oh, it's like $45, but I'm rounding up, whatever. She goes, that's so cheap. What? $40 a night? I'm like, yeah, $40 a night. Is that not a normal price? And she's like, no, that's a crazy. There's no way that can be good. I'm like, oh, it's 3.5 stars. And she's like, that doesn't sound correct to me. That's so cheap. So I looked it up. I originally booked the Trade Wind Inn or something. Trade Wind Inn. There we go. I gotta plug this phone in, make sure it doesn't die. Outside of Tulsa. Looking at the reviews, because I just saw 3.5 stars. It's $40. Cool. Send it. Should have done a little bit more research, because turns out there are tens, dozens, hundreds perhaps of 1-star reviews that are every once in a while mitigated by a 4 or 5-star review that is worded a specific way from a different account every time that only has one review. So a random account comes out of nowhere. The only review they've ever left is on this hotel. And they all give it 4 or 5 stars. And they're all like capitalized in a weird specific way. So I'm like, okay, the owner has been making fake accounts and leaving 4 or 5-star reviews on their own hotel, because every other rating on this hotel at the Trade Wind Inn in Tulsa is 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. If you get rid of the 5-star and 4-star review, which sounds stupid, but if there's 100 reviews, you get rid of the 5-star reviews, it is 85 1-star reviews. Like, it's a lot. And every single one of them, bed bugs, bed bugs, bed bugs, cockroaches, cockroaches, bed bugs. Then every once in a while it's like, yeah, there's a bullet hole in my window. There's black mold. The paint was peeling in my room, and there was black mold behind the paint. They just painted over it. I was accosted by a prostitute on the way to my room. To get to my room, I had to step over 2 OD'd meth heads. And then bed bugs, cockroaches, bed bugs. And for me, I would rather a meth head stab me to death than a single bed bug touch my body. And I was reading these reviews Wednesday night, and I'm supposed to fly out Thursday evening, and I'm in my perfectly comfortable home reading reviews at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep because I'm thinking about bed bugs. I'm going on like Google and search. I'm trying to find good reviews about this place because I just need it to not be filled with bed bugs. And I'm in my perfectly comfortable bed in my home, surrounded by my wife. I'm laying on my pillow, like the most comfortable I can be, and I can't even sleep thinking about bugs. And I'm like, even if I find the review that's like, it's not as bad as it seems, I didn't have bed bugs, whatever. Even when I get to that hotel, I'm still going to be thinking about, even if there are none, even if there's not a single bed bug in my room, there's not a single bed bug in this hotel, I'm going to be thinking about it every time my foot itches, because my foot itches. I'm going to think that's a bug. Every time the AC comes on and blows the hair on my arm, I'm going to think that's a bug. I'll get no sleep for 3 nights. I'm not doing it. And, of course, it's non-refundable. You can't cancel whatever. Or it doesn't matter if you cancel. It's non-refundable. So I just had to swallow my pride. Swallow my checkbook. and just book another hotel for you know, some $60-$80 a night. This hotel that I'm in now, the Fairfield Inn in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for the 3 nights it was like $300. So now $150, it was like $250, but still, $150 for the plane ticket, $150 for the first hotel, $250 for the second hotel. So like I'm out $500+ sans eating, sans Ubers. I'm out $550 to do one 7-minute unpaid set. Well, it better be a damn good set. And so before we go into the set, I look up, Reddit, hotels, good, ? And it's like one of the top comments I saw was like, yeah, if you're doing anything at Kane's Ballroom, which is like the main venue for the festival, if you're doing anything at Kane's Ballroom, book the Fairfield Inn. It's like right across the street. You can just walk to it. It's great for it. It's a nice hotel. Cool. So Tulsa, Fairfield Inn, book it. Great. I get here. Get an Uber. It's midnight. By the time I get here and get an Uber, they start driving me here. They get me here. Thank you very much. Check in, all that good stuff. Wake up Friday morning, look outside, and I'm like, looks pretty empty out here. It doesn't really look like downtown. I wonder where, maybe it's just, I don't know, Tulsa, I don't know, Oklahoma, maybe it's just not big. I don't know, I expected more from Tulsa. Looked it up. I can't walk to Kane's Ballroom. It would take 3 hours to walk to Kane's Ballroom. It's a, 15, 20-minute drive to get there. There are 2, count them 2, Fairfield Inns in Tulsa. I booked the wrong one. So now I booked the wrong hotel, so even now, I still have to Uber. I still have to Uber in and out to get out of here. And stupid, the actual Fairfield Inn, fun little fact, the correct Fairfield Inn in downtown across from Kane's, wouldn't you know it, is a partner hotel with the festival. If you tell them, hey, I'm coming in for the Blue Whale Comedy Festival, they will give you a discounted rate, which, even though it's downtown and it would have been $130 a night, would have been just as expensive as this one, would have been almost the same price. And I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about partner hotels. I got an email about it when I got accepted. Didn't think to check it. I have lost so much extra money, and then I got an Uber back and forth. Speaking of which, I Uber in to from here into the I Uber into the hotel. Figure I could just take a bus to downtown. Take a bus, it takes 45 minutes, whatever. It's $2. I'll take it. Bus in. Then I got to get home after my show. I was planning on staying late and going to the after party and hanging out and stuff, but I'm like, I'm emotionally exhausted from having to introduce myself to people. I just kind of want to go to bed. I'm very tie-tie. I've been walking around going to shows all day. Now I could get an Uber. And in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was going to be $21 to Uber from downtown back to the hotel. I figure I'm going to take one of them little Lime scooters back to the hotel. It takes 20 minutes to drive there. It takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes-ish to drive there. How long is it going to take with an Uber or with a Lime scooter? 25 minutes? Lime scooters go 12 miles an hour. I don't know what I'm thinking that I'm like, yeah, it's only going to, and you take the interstate to get here, it takes 12 minutes. It takes 15, 20 minutes if you take the interstate. I'm thinking take a Lime scooter that goes 12 miles an hour. What's that going to take me? An extra 10, 15 minutes? No big deal. I'll take a Lime scooter back to the hotel. That math adds up. Not thinking about the fact that a Lime scooter goes 12 miles an hour and I can't take the highway. And Lime scooter, I look it up because I'm not an idiot. I'm like, what's the range on a Lime scooter? And it's like 12 miles, 15 miles is like the range for a battery on a Lime scooter. And I go, oh, perfect. The hotel says it's only 8 miles away. We're good. Because taking a scooter, I thought it was just going to be fun. I thought it was going to be whimsical. That'd be a good time. And I thought it was going to be cheaper because it's like 45 cents a minute. It's like, okay, if it takes 10 minutes, that's $4.50. If it takes 20 minutes, that's almost $10. If it takes 30 minutes, it's going to be $15. I'm saving $6 and spending 10 more minutes. And I get to ride a little scooter around. How fun is that? This has got a range of 12, 15 miles. Hotel's only 8 miles away. Sounds like a match made in heaven. So I start scootering, and it's 11:30 at night. I start scooting my little butt towards the hotel. And as I'm getting close to the interstate, I realize, I can't take the interstate. I got to set my GPS to a bike path, not a car path. Bike path, noticeably different route. But I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Doing no math in my head. I'm the dumbest boy alive. So I start scootering down. And, it's like there's a lot of like taco shops and bars and neon signs and things down this road I'm headed. And then starts to slowly turn into like, slowly but surely, it's not an immediate change, but gradually it becomes like a lot of used car sales places, a lot of auto body shops, some cash for gold places, check cashing, pawn shops, and I'm scootering, motels. And then I'm about 5 miles into this 8-mile journey. It's been 25 minutes. It's almost been, I'm ish halfway, and it's been 25 minutes. So in my head, I'm like, geez, it's gonna take me like closer to an hour to get back. I don't know why I thought it was gonna take 30 minutes, 25 minutes. I don't know what that was in my head. I'm getting nervous because like the battery's getting lower on this thing. Still got, it's still got a little less than half, but all right, well, we're a little more than halfway there, so we should be fine on battery. And we still got plenty of range. That's the important thing. It says it's got a 12-mile range. We got plenty of range. We're good. Turns out that range or whatever is not how far the scooter can go. It's how long the battery will last. So it'll last 12 miles. The range on the scooter, it's only going to go 5 miles outside of its like vicinity that's allowed to go before it just shuts off on you. Yeah, it's still got more. It still could go farther. The battery can last longer. But once you take it outside of a certain range of like an actual radius from where it's supposed to be downtown, it just shuts off. And so I'm going down at a pretty good pace, and then I notice all of a sudden it just stops. Like I don't hear the little motor running anymore. It doesn't stop, but like the engine kills out, and I'm kind of just drifting. I look down, I see a little red circle with a line through it. And then up ahead, what do I see ominously? I see another scooter. I see another scooter that has that doing the math in my head of where I'm drifting to, I'm going to end up at where this scooter is via drift, which means some other poor soul got to exactly where I was, also lost power, lost control to the scooter, and then ended up exactly where I was going to be, just on the sidewalk, pointing in the exact same direction. I literally, when I came to a stop, I was in the same spot as this other scooter. So at least someone else had the exact same thought I did and also got screwed. So now it's like 12:05 at night, and I have no scooter. I'm still 3 miles away from the hotel, just surrounded by like kind of an industrial part of Tulsa. So I had to walk to the nearest motel and then call an Uber at midnight. So it takes, it's like your nearest Uber's 10 minutes away. So I have to wait for them to get there to pick me up, to then take me the last 3 miles to the hotel. It took me 3-4 times as long from when I initially started this journey, from the estimate that Uber gave me, because I was downtown. There's Ubers that was like, there's an Uber 1 minute away, 2 minutes away. And then driving to, obviously, the hotel. From the estimate that it gave me to get an Uber and drive to the hotel, it took me 4 times as long to get to the hotel and cost me 3 times as much, because I had to pay for all of the scootering, and then I still had to pay for an Uber, and then I still had to tip the Uber driver. Cost me 3 times as much, took me 4 times as long to get to the hotel as if I would have, from the very get-go, just called an Uber. And then today, between shows, I'm like, I just kind of want to go. I just want to sit at a coffee shop and do my Sudokus. Okay, I bought a little Sudoku book with me from the dollar store. I just want to do my Sudokus in a coffee shop. That's what I want to do. Can't do that because my headphones. I brought plugged headphones. I didn't bring chargeable Bluetooth headphones. I bought plugged headphones because I didn't want to have to worry about keeping the headphones charged throughout the trip. Except the plugged headphones, you have to have an adapter because everything is a USB-C now, which means there's no headphone jack in my phone anymore. So I have to buy a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter to an audio jack, USB-C to an audio jack adapter, so I can plug the headphones into the adapter and then plug the adapter into my phone. And then somewhere along the lines, from when I recorded the podcast with Kenny to 3.5 hours later, somehow did not lose the headphones, did lose the adapter. So now I can't listen to music, which is fine for the immediate Sudoku, but I got to get on a flight. And I'm not raw dogging a flight. I'm not just listening to turbulence or whatever, air whooshing by, babies crying, people coughing. I'm not listening to that for an hour flight to Dallas to then do a 2.5 hour, 3 hour layover, if nothing gets delayed, in Dallas, to then take an 1.5-hour flight to Colorado Springs. I'm not doing that raw dog ear, okay? So I got to get an audio jack. I got to get an adapter so I can plug headphones in so that I can listen to music on these flights or a podcast or whatever. Nearest Home Depot, which the only place I looked up, like, what does it cost to get, like, where's a store, like, where's a Walmart, where's a Walgreens, where's a something like that near me where I can buy these things. Closest thing nearby is a Home Depot a mile away. So it's about a 25-minute walk. It was 99 degrees outside and humid. Let me tell you, it was humid today. And I'm like, it's going to be an hour for me to walk there and walk back. Let me get a scooter. Got a scooter. Went to Home Depot. They don't have the adapter there. Said they have it on the website. For whatever reason, my Home Depot on the app or like on the website, the location finder defaulted to Dallas, Texas, even though I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so I went to the guy up front and I'm like, hey, this says you have this thing and it's not here. And he goes, oh, sorry, no, it looks like you're in the wrong location. That aisle doesn't match up with our aisles. Yep, you're in the wrong location. We don't have that here. You can ship it here, though, but we don't have those here. They don't have the USB-C to headphone jack at that Home Depot. So I just had to buy wireless headphones. It's all they had. I just had to buy new Bluetooth headphones at Home Depot. To then scooter back. I didn't eat dinner tonight because I'm spending so much money. I don't want to spend money. When I bought this hat night one, this hat's $10. Someone told me later, I got that hat for $6. Turns out they changed the price of the hat depending on what venue you bought it at. I can't even, I'm spending money, I'm losing money on the hats. I'm losing money on the hats for a single Uno 7-minute unpaid set. I just wanted to say I've opened for Jeffrey. I just wanted to say I've done Blue Whale. It's not worth it, guys. It's not. I gotta tell you, I don't feel like it's worth the $650+ I've spent to be here. Oh. Anyways, I saw an Instagram message came in. I was wondering if it was my temporary roommate, who I did ask. I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna try and get an Uber to the airport. Another Uber. I'm gonna try and get an Uber to the airport. I gotta be there at 3:30 in the morning. I don't know if Tulsa has Ubers at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Is there any chance that if I can't get an Uber, can you drive me? Can you drive me to the airport? And he's like, yeah, man, I've been, yes. He feels bad for the amount of money he sees me blowing constantly. I have my little comedy account, my little comedy bank account. All my money I make from comedy, I keep it in like a different little checking savings account. So that it's like my fun money, right? It's my little silly money. It doesn't mean anything if I blow that or spend that or buy microphones with it or apply to a festival and it costs $20. I'll just take it out of my comedy money. It's wiped out. I don't have a cent left. Now I'm eating into my real actual money to be here for a single 7-minute unpaid set. I'm having a bad time. My set was good. Hey, it was a good 7-minute set. I think it was funny. It was a good set. This is tough. This is life on the road. I don't know if this is life on the road, but next time I do a festival, I want at least 2 shows, and I want to go with someone I know. That would be nice. That would be nice. I'd make this a little bit easier. Yeah, man. I think if this costed, like, original, if I just got a hotel room, the right hotel room, and got a flight, I think I would be a little less upset about it, but just I keep blowing it over and over again, and I'm getting so sad and upset. It's just, but the festival's great. Don't get me wrong. The festival itself has been good. It's just everything about getting here and being here and staying here that's been. I'm being a baby. I'm being a baby about this. But yeah. If someone just would have said, like, hey, do you want to spend $700 to say that, to get a picture with Jeffrey Osmus, I said Asmus forever, and then the host brought him up as Osmus, and I'm like, oh, have I been saying his name wrong this whole time? But yeah, if someone said, do you want to spend $700 to do that? I would have said, I'll just lie on my bio. I'll just say that I did it and not do it. I'll just lie. I have a couple other lies on there. That's fine. I'm not above it. Yeah. Jeffrey was great though. So funny. Absolutely ripped for 52 minutes. Genuinely started making me, it's one of those like it's a set where you start questioning like why you do stand up or like your style, and you're like, oh, I'm actually wrong. I'm bad at this. Yeah, he was incredible. He was crazy. I did. This is never going to get back to anyone, so it doesn't matter. I did tonight. There was a headliner. His name's Casey Rocket. Casey Rocket. And he's famous for his Kill Tony appearances. And if you don't know, Kill Tony is a show on the internet. It's the world's largest live recorded podcast, where it's a show where 200 people, 300 people a week sign up to try and get on this Kill Tony show. There's a panel of comedians on stage. They will pull a name out of a bucket, 200-300 names in this bucket. They will pull out a name and say, coming up next is Russell Keller. Russell Keller gets to go up on stage in front of this huge audience and do 1 minute of stand-up comedy. And if you're good, you might be able to like do more sets, or people are going to remember you, or blah, blah, blah. And if you do bad, then the panel of comedians, the panel of judges, is going to be mean to you, and they're going to roast you. Casey Rocket is famous for getting on Kill Tony, doing 1 minute of stand-up comedy that was a little wacky and kooky. They liked him so much that they continue to bring him on. He's a regular on the Kill Tony show now. So when you watch Kill Tony every week when it comes out, you're probably going to see Casey Rocket on it. So I've seen Casey Rocket. I don't watch Kill Tony. I'm aware of the concept. Anyone who does stand-up knows what Kill Tony is. And I'll watch it if, like, oh, a comedian I know is one of the judges, perhaps, or a comedian I know was on Kill Tony. I just want to see their spot. So I'm just aware of who Casey Rocket is. And he's headlining. He's supposed to do an hour. And he has gotten famous for doing a minute sets. Now, he's done many a minute sets, but he's doing a minute. And that's important because Casey Rocket's thing is that he is manic and crazy. He's not telling jokes. He's just doing, it's more akin to clownery than it is to stand up, because he's just like pivoting and running around and like moving the mic stand like from left to right to right to left to left to right to right to right left. He's just flicking the top of his hat. He keeps spinning around and smacking his butt, and then being like, "What's going on, guys? Who's crazy? I'm crazy. Who's riffing? I'm riffing. I'm the mayor of Riff City, the mayor of Sniff City. Who's got a stinky butt in here? That's me." Turn around, smack his butt. I got a stinky little tutor. Tutor booter, tutor shooter, Shooter McGavin. Who loves Adam Sandler? I do. Like, he's not saying anything. He's just saying words, and it's even more detached than what I'm doing. I'm at least doing some kind of like train of thought. He's just saying words. He's saying phrases, but none of them connect to each other. And people are going to go, "No, Russell, you don't get it." No, I get it, what he's doing. I just don't think it's funny or good. It's not. It's just not stand-up, really. It's movement and sound, and it's on stage, and it is a microphone, and people are laughing. But it's like, it's not stand-up comedy, and it's fine. It's just not for me. Whatever. But doing it for a minute, okay, that's a silly little thing. I saw Kill Tony. A guy did a minute where he just stood in silence. for a minute. And, when you're quiet for a minute, that's a long time. So it's like he gets the microphone. This is a big opportunity. He's on Kill Tony. He's silent. So like for the first 3 seconds, 4 seconds, it's quiet. And then 5, 6, 7 seconds in, people start laughing because they're like, oh, he hasn't said anything yet. And comedy is like building tension and releasing tension, and it's doing something. And when you learn new information or something unexpected happens, that makes you laugh. So laughter is like, it's a physiological phenomena, right? And so silence. Oh, and then people start laughing, and then they go quiet again, waiting for him to say something. But then the expectation of like, well, he's going to say something now, and then he doesn't again, makes people laugh. And then, okay, now it's been, no way. Then the realization of it's been 15, 20 seconds, he's not going to say anything. The realization dawning on you makes you laugh again. And then you're 40 seconds in, you're like, oh my God, he's going to do it. Now it's just like the balls of this guy or whatever make you laugh, and it's like, and then he does a minute without saying anything and just stares at the crowd, and he gets like a standing ovation. People give a standing ovation for this man who didn't say a word for a minute. And that works because it's 1 minute. It works because it's a minute, because doing a minute's you can play with that in a different way than you can play with doing 20 minutes, an hour, 5 minutes, whatever. You can't stand on stage and not say anything for 10 minutes. It works for 1 minute, and it works that one time. You can only do it that one time, and you can do it for a minute. But you can't do that for 10 minutes. People are like, okay, I got it after 3 minutes in. It's not, like, funny anymore. And you can't do it at clubs. It's not like you can do it. So it's like that's a specific thing for that 1 minute, which was funny, and that guy, props to him, he did a good job. That's not the point. The point is that certain things only work for a minute. And I feel like that is Casey Rocket. Yeah, he works for a minute. He's got this weird manic energy, and he's moving around, he's bouncing, he's facing the other way. He pulls that, like, he's like doing this, doing that, and then he goes, oh, what's this in my hat? It's a picture of the Grinch with an AR-15, and people lose their mind. That is a picture of the Grinch with an AR-15. Like, that had nothing to do with anything. It's just funny that he had a picture and he moves on to the next thing. Very manic energy. But that works for a minute. Dude, maybe I'm a hater. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. He's supposed to do an hour. After 30 minutes, I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. It's the first, 8 minutes is him doing... he is spazzing. Like he's just moving the mic stand over here, moving the stool over here, moving the stool over here, moving the mic stand over here, moving the mic stand over here, moving the mic stand over here, moving the stool over here, moving the stool over here, flicking his hat, spinning around, smack his butt, say words. All disconnected. And then now he's getting 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in. And he doesn't have the energy to keep up what he was doing in the first 5 minutes, 25 minutes in. So, he slows down. His bits get a little bit longer. Now he's saying, now he's doing more jokes-ish. And, the laughter that was, this crazy manic, we're in hysteria, all the audience is laughter. It's 140 people in hysterics have now kind of, not that he was bombing or doing poorly by any means, but has died down kind of noticeably. It's not hysterical laughing anymore. It's just now it's just kind of regular. Okay. And he's still kind of doing he's like, ma'am, check under your seat. That's right. It's a picture of Bill Belichick. And then people are like, okay, all right. And it's it starts to lose its luster a little bit after 15 minutes of this thing. And then 30 minutes in, it's not going bad. But, it's not the hysterics that it was in the first 5-10 minutes. And I should have stayed to see the next 15 minutes and the 15 minutes after that. What does an hour of you doing this looks like? But it's the magic kind of wears off. It starts to have diminishing returns as time goes on. It was very interesting to watch, and it's like the more I was watching it, the more I'm like, this, not to be like a purist or whatever. Stand up can be like a weird, wild, wacky thing, and lots of things can be stand up. But I'm like, it's like I don't like scary movies, quote unquote, that it's just jump scares. Because you're not actually scaring me. I'm just responding to stimulus. When I jump back, you're just throwing a thing at my face and my face tries to move out of the way, right? Or like my heart jumps. But this is not scary. My body is just responding to stimulus. But if you just do jump scares all the time, you didn't build any tension in the movie. You didn't horrify me. You didn't scare. It's just like I didn't care what happened to people. Like someone could jump around this corner over here right now and it would it would make me jump, but I wasn't scared leading up to it, and I'm also not scared after the fact. It was just at the moment of stimulation I reacted. Laughter is kind of the same thing. Like if I tickle you and you laugh, that doesn't mean I'm funny. Just because I jump out of a bush and scare you doesn't mean that Russell is a scary person. It just means you responded to the stimulus. If I tickle you, doesn't mean I'm funny. It just means that you laughed. It doesn't mean that I'm funny. You're just responding to the stimulus of being tickled, and it makes you laugh. And I feel like that's kind of like Casey Rocket is tickling for your brain in a way. Like he's just hitting you with it's hypnotism. It's like I feel like what he does is like on the longer sets is more like hypnotism than it is like stand up. He's overwhelming your senses and your body is responding to it, which is its own thing, and that is, he makes it work and he makes money doing it. But it's like I don't think Casey Rocket's writing a spec script anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like he's not no one would call Casey Rocket a writer. If you took what he said and put it on paper, it's not funny. It's his performance of it that makes it funny. And is that more impressive than writing a joke or less impressive? I think it's just different. But I'm like, oh, it's more. He's like hypnotizing people. He's getting them like into the hysterics of this. It's like when you're at dinner and you're not supposed to laugh because your mom and dad are fighting, and me and my brother are not allowed to laugh because things are tense. But because it's tense and you're not allowed to laugh, that's what makes you start laughing. Nothing funny is happening, but just knowing that you're not supposed to and your brain makes you want to laugh. I laugh when I'm in trouble a lot. Like my wife will be very mad at me and she will be correct. And I just I start cracking a smile and then I start laughing. And I'm not laughing at her. I don't think it's funny that she's mad at me, but just something about being in trouble makes me start laughing. It's just like it's just physiological response to stimuli. If I say that enough, I sound smart. That's very much what Casey Rocket feels like. Because if you take what he's saying and you put it on paper, it's not funny. It's just his performance of. He just keeps saying spoons. He just said like spoon, spoon, spoons. I'm a little crab man. Who's that weird crab man up there? Spoon, spoon, spoons. I don't know why he's saying spoons. And yeah, I don't. It's very like lay random. I'm a little lay random. I don't know if you guys remember early internet culture, like 2004 to 2011. There was this thing of like being random is funny. Things that make no sense, being random is funny, which it's not, but we all thought it. We all expected at some point. I remember there's a Weird Al song named Albuquerque that is 11 minutes long that I made my parents listen to way too much. Sorry, Mom. Listened back to it recently. That song sucks. It's not fun to listen to musically. It sounds bad. And it's just him. This is why we need to use headphones. I only missed like 30 seconds of audio. Of these batteries dying. It was just me talking about Weird Al's Albuquerque. But it's Weird Al going like, I went to the donut shop and I asked the man behind the counter with purple hair if I could have an apple fritters. And he said, we don't have apple fritters here. All we have is a nest of live weasels. And the weasels started biting me. And then one of them bit my leg. And I said, hey, knock that off. And he looked at me and said, are you my father? And I took him home and raised him as a little baby. And then he became an astronaut and went to space. Like, it's just saying things. There is no point or purpose or rhyme or reason. It's just saying stuff. It's just saying random stuff. And I feel like that's what Casey Rocket is for another generation. Instead of me on MySpace, it's for Gen Zers with Instagram Reels and TikToks. It wasn't for me. It was just random. And it's exhausting. 30 minutes in, I'm like, I gotta go. I should have stayed. I would love to have seen how he landed that plane, and maybe he is incredible, and there's a big crescendo, and actually I'm stupid and I don't get it. I'm talking about something that I don't know because I didn't see the last half hour, but good God, after a half hour, I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I can't do it. I'm so tired. Because I didn't get hypnotized. I didn't get into it because I was trying to watch it medically. I was trying to watch it cold just to understand what was going on. And so when you don't get caught up in it, when you don't get caught up in the momentum and the tidal wave, it's just a guy saying stuff. And if I wanted to see a crazy man say random crazy stuff with missing teeth, I would just talk to any man outside, any homeless man outside in Colorado Springs. Highest homeless population per capita. Mark it down. Olympic City, USA. Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's for these transgenders and these bisexuals. It's not for me, the perfect man. Yeah, so now I'm going to go home. I think we're deep enough into the podcast that no one's going to hear this. I was told at some point that I was going to get to open for one Mark Normand. Very excited. Canceled a Don't Tell show so that I could open for Mark Normand. Did a secret show in Colorado. And then that was revoked. After I'd canceled the show I was booked on, after I canceled Don't Tell, I was then told, by the way, you're probably not going to be able to open for Mark Normand. Sorry. I misspoke when I told you could do that. So I'm out 2 shows and another big opportunity. So that's cool. Is open for Mark Normand still going on my bio? You're goddamn right. Of course, I was told I could, so it's going on my bio, which is how 2 other people who are on my bio, Sam Talent and Eddie Pepitone. Eddie Pepitone I was booked to open for, and then due to low ticket sales, the show did not happen. But I was booked to open for him, and that counts. And Sam Talent, I may have said this on the last podcast episode, but Sam Talent asked for me to open for him, and then no one told me, so I did not show up. Not my fault. No one can be mad at me. But I was supposed to. And he's been on Joe Rogan twice. So you're goddamn right. On my bio it says, has opened for names like Mark Normand, Sam Talent, Eddie Pepitone. Jeffrey Osmus is the only person that I've actually opened for. That's on my bio. But bios don't mean anything. It's just something you submit to festivals. They're not real. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't count for anything. No one's going to fact check it. No one's going to call Sam and be like, hey, this guy ever opened for you? And it's not like he remembers anyway. He'd probably just say, that sounds like something that may have happened. Anyways, who cares? But do I have any shows coming up? Does anyone care? Come to Pikes Punks. September 28th. Michael Isaacs, Gabby Gutierrez Reed, very funny. Excited about that show. Pikes Punk September last is it 29th or 28th? Last Saturday in September. We are directly competing with the Colorado Springs Comedy Festival, which I also helped book. So we'll see. We'll see if I can beat myself. But I only make money from one of these. I only make money from Pikes Punks. So come to Pikes Punks instead. Give me $10 to $15. I would appreciate it. Colorado Springs Comedy Festival happening the last weekend of September. Got some great talent on there. I wish more people would have submitted. I still think some people made it through that I ranked lower than my peers. Than my constituents? No, my peers. Me and a couple other people kind of ranked everyone who submitted to the festival and then averaged out the scores, and whoever came out on top came out on top. And I think we have some good people on top. I think we have some people in Best of the Fest who started stand-up like, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And did they technically have one of the better tapes? Yes. But I think that's just because we got so many bad tapes. We had so much dog shit sent far away. So it's they are good. Everyone on the festival is talented. I just wish more in terms of quantity, not more in terms of quality, but more in terms of quantity. More talented people had applied as well. I want to get 200 submissions and not, 62 or whatever. Some people who submitted to the festival never do stand-up again in your life if you're ever watching this. If you are someone who used to do pornography and you are now doing stand-up comedy and you want to get into festivals, no one in particular. One, when the form says, how much time can you do? Don't say maybe 5 minutes. Don't say maybe. If it's only 5 minutes, be a confident 5. Be a strong 5. Don't be a loosey-goosey 5. Maybe 5 minutes. And also, when we ask for headshots, not a screen grab of your face cropped in from an adult photo shoot you did. Something with clothes on would be preferred in terms of headshots for submitting to comedy festivals. And also, hey guys, new guys in Colorado Springs who started 3 months ago who are doing stand-up comedy, who are submitting for the festival, don't send a Instagram reel 1 minute long crowd work clip that's not very good. You have to pay to submit to festivals, for those who don't know, and someone paid $25 to submit a 1 minute long. You get submit a 5 minute tape. Submitted a 1 minute long Instagram reel of them doing bad crowd work. Just think about it for when you're reading, like, what are the requirements for submitting a tape? And it says 5 minutes. And you're like, this 1 minute's so good. It's definitely got them. A different person submitted tape with them getting heckled in the tape. Don't submit that. We're only watching 5 minutes. Why are you submitting you getting heckled? If you're submitting tape, make sure you can be seen in the tape. Some people's tape, 2 that I can remember, submitted tape where the light, the auto focus on the camera focused in on like a light like this, or like focused in on the wrong thing. So they are lit up on stage like this lamp next to me, and you can't see them. They're completely washed out because the camera has focused on like the back of the head of someone in the back row where they set up their camera on a tripod. It focused on the back of this person's head, and because it's so dark, the camera lightens up. It opens the shutter or whatever, so it makes it so you can really see the back of this person's head, which means it makes light lighter. It makes light brighter because it's so dark on the back of this person's head that it then overexposes the stage that is lit up already, so you can't see the comedian at all. It's just a bright white blinding light. They're just a white blob, and people are like, this is what I'm going to spend $25 to submit. Take one more shot. Get one more tape in there. You don't have to submit that one. A lot of bad stuff. Also, if you play the ukulele, don't bother. I'm not watching it, okay? I'm opening it. I'm seeing a ukulele. I'm closing the tab, okay? I'm not watching it. You're not making it on the festival. Well, this has been enough of me telling you my woes. Well, I'll be back in Colorado Springs this time tomorrow. My wife, my daughter, and my stinky little piss house. I don't know why I said that. I gotta go to bed. I gotta wake up in 4 hours. Was this episode worth it? We're all gonna find out together. Okay, bye.